multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money. Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good. Very good.
Coming in hot. Jimmy coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh.
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, where? Ginger.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Lights go low, the city goes high. Stories untold under moonlit skies. Brave lonely, got the vibe, got the flow for the culture. Yeah, you already know. Turn it up, lean back, feel the breeze. Late night truths drifting through the trees. It's for the culture, by the culture. Brave lonely's got the soul to show ya. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire. Headlines.
And that's exactly what we're about to do. We're about to spark that fire. 1, 2, 3, fire! Indeed. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, 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 hello to you, and you. Welcome into another edition of Brady's Virtual Tour live on a Monday morning, 4 minutes after 11 a.m. We have a lot to talk about. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 destinations for you all this morning. Wendy and Eddie from Real Housewives of Potomac. We got some updates to give y'all, and I'm going to use some jump off points to get into that first destination because I think context, conjecture, and connection are very important. As you know, that's what we utilize over here. Number 2, on brand with Jimmy Fallon, Bozoma St. John. Well, apparently NBC Universal believes in the format so much that they took it overseas to sell to international buyers. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. CNN, wait till you see what CNN has done with content creators. And could this happen in the United States? Plus the update on going after Warner Bros. Discovery. We'll have that update for you live here. Adrian Davis, a former pastor at a church in Huntsville, Alabama. Child, something about that Alabama. What's up? Now, I did hear that that Uncle Wanda was on Bell Collective with a boyfriend, a husband. Oh, wait, that was Marie from Bell Collective. Are Marie and Uncle Wanda long-lost sisters? Don't know, don't care, nor give a damn up or ish about it. But there's something in the water in Alabama that we're going to get into with that. Faith Evans had her first gala uplifting autism, so we're going to celebrate that. American Airlines. Y'all, it has been such a year for the airline industry. From Spirit Airlines declaring bankruptcy to planes falling out the sky and everything in between. Wait till y'all hear what happened with American Airlines. And finally, if you all remember that Stubios opportunity where your movie or TV show could be a Tubi original, they got a winner. We're going to show you who it is live this morning as well. Higher is waiting, lower is available, but either way, we got to go on tour. Yes, indeed. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And one thing to know and two things for sure that over here on this channel, a lot happens early.
It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Julie Chen. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
Morning everywhere. Come on, get up.
I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Dave Price. And it's a little early for this.
Now this Saturday. It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early. Every day's good when you started it out right. But I'm whenever you're in the daylight. And a lot happens early. Can you feel it? And I say,
Good morning, everybody.
Are you girls ready for the Jonas Brothers?
We have an early show exclusive. Yes.
A lot happens early.
A lot happens
Early.
The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.
It's a new morning.
It is a new morning. Julie Chen, Moon Vincent, Russ Mitchell, Dave Price, Harry Smith, and Maggie Rodriguez. You're absolutely right on this channel right here. A lot happens early. Good morning, everybody. Let's get to the getting and doing what we do, child. We got a lot to talk about. So strap in, get you some IHOP, get you some McDonald's, get you whatever you need to, because we got a lot to discuss. So I'm going to use this story to get to our destination. Stephen A. Smith calls out Jasmine Crockett, sparks mixed reactions, right? So on the latest episode of his podcast or his Sirius XM show, Straight Shooter with Stephen A. Smith, Smith blasted the Democrat Party, specifically Crockett, how Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself. I'm like, how is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to being an impotent to what 47 wants? Smith declared he mocked Crockett when sharing what he feels is a glimpse into her daily life. How much work goes in that? Smith questions. I'm just going to go off about 47, custom, however chance I get. Say the most derogatory and incendiary things imaginable. That's my day's work. That ain't gonna work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know something about Stephen A. This is the same dumb fuck that the only two things he cares about is waking up, making ESPN money, how to get some of it. He doesn't give a fuck about his sister Carmen. He doesn't give a fuck about his daughters. Does not give a fuck about Lati Dati or anybody that wants to teach out with your girl. And I hope she's doing well. But seriously, you're going to go after Jasmine Crockett, sir? like I said, you're going to find out that you a slave-filled Negro very soon because you're going to blow your own platform up on that straight shooter radio show on Sirius XM or on your Stephen A. Smith show. Because here's the thing, right? And Stephen A. Smith wants to do late night. If you were that big, bad, and bold, you would have been doing late night. Oh. Never hosted the ESPY. Never done the ESPY's red carpet. That Up for Debate podcast network, you couldn't do that. Maybe you could partner up with Charmaine the God to create the Black Fed Sports Podcast Network. Yeah, I ain't gonna do that. When the Olympics were happening in Paris, sure you couldn't show the highlights, but First Take live from Paris for all the Olympics would have been cool. And you do realize that now that you're in the same building as Good Morning America, which was still a dumbass decision to move America's number one morning show from a vibrant studio in Times Square to the basement of a glorified building named after oneself called the Robert A. Iger building. But that's neither here nor there. But you're in the same building as Good Morning America, but yet you won't go on there once a week or twice a week to give Stephen A's take on different news topics now. I'm trying to think how many times has ABC News had election night coverage and you never permitted yourself to go over there? You know, Walt Disney did nature documentaries when there was, you know, tension in terms of a strike, right? You can't do Stephen A's World of Sports through ESPN films and put those in movie theaters across the world. Like you have so much shit to say about everybody else, but God forbid somebody says something about you. You got upset over the first lady, Michelle Obama, who was right in her opinion. You're a public figure. This comes to the smoke. So you can have smoke for everybody, but nobody can have smoke for your ass. You're probably wondering, right? You probably are wondering how this relates to Wendy and Eddie. With what I saw, right, there's a lot of people that are moving like this.
How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying, that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituents. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent, the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas. I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated. We make it complicated.
Now, I just want to say this about Stephen A. Smith, right? Because this motherfucker's got 2 hours. He's in his second hour right now on First Take. And he gets to go off about anyone and everyone in the sports world 5 days a week. Is that work, sir, or no? Because those motherfuckers got networks you will never fucking reach. Ever. Ever. You have to talk about LeBron James for you to have a career, motherfucker. What are we doing here? I can't. I can't. I just can't. So there was mixed reactions. One person replied to Smith's rant calling him a bitch per usual. Somebody else complimented Jess Crockett's work ethic while saying Smith was known for his loudness and apologies. Another defended his stance on Democrats and comments on YouTube Dems are done. They've lost all common sense. And so this is the thing, right? You can be so big, bad, and bold to have smoke for everybody else, but yet nobody can have smoke for you. That's almost like you getting upset about somebody reposting a clip of a child and their trauma that you uploaded. Okay, that's like a child thinking that California is in Mexico. That's like thinking. I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me flip it reverse rewind it back. That's like saying my mama didn't want me; she wanted a boy. And then when you add fuel to the fire, now you're getting big mad because nobody fucks with you. Well, really, no one has ever fucked with you. It's just like the biggest, loudest, boisterous voices are usually shit. Okay. Now, let's keep going. Because, as y'all know, Stephen A. Smith has something to say about Serena Williams dancing with Kendrick Lamar. And this is Alex Ohan, who is the founder of Reddit. Let's watch.
Well, also too, Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
well, you know what? Listen. I did it. People, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time. But I
was hoping you were going to be here.
I'm not. Oh no, I am not qualified. Married? Right. Oh no, not me. Well, I ain't qualified, my brother. I'm not qualified. I was going to ask because you hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No, see.
He hasn't.
No. Okay. Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies, and the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies. Yeah. So I generally try to stay in my lane as advice.
Then we'll talk marriage advice later. I've been 13 years strong. We got you. Alexis, thank you so much. Athlos NYC 2-night event in New York. Incredible. Can't wait to watch. I'm looking for a Tiffany's crown. Appreciate you, Alexis.
Appreciate you.
Now, shout out to Cameron World because I was over there this morning. A 58-year-old unmarried man who has, with a receding hairline, who has never been married, mind you, said he would divorce the greatest living athlete who has been happily married to 8 years to her very rich, loving husband. Keep quiet, forehead. Shout out to medium-sized Mitch right there. And, of course, Stephen A. Smith, being Big Matt. Please go back and look exactly at what I said. I was talking about overall from a man's perspective. Sir, I would say that if the fate of to use Max Kellerman's words, because you don't like Max Kellerman, you don't like anybody who's not for you, with you, and of your ilk. But I believe Terrell Owens said that Max Kellerman is blacker than you, Stephen A. But fate of the world on the line, laser beam on the dot. Who would we choose to save the world? Aliens, take Stephen A. Smith. We'll keep Serena Williams. And you know that shit too. No issues with folks getting upset of literal serious stuff no one's pissed about. This doesn't qualify. Come on, we're just joking around first take. Damn, y'all's not that serious. But you make it serious, right? So this is what Tiffany Cross had to say. And don't worry, I'm going to lay all back to Wendy and Eddie here in just a minute because this is important. Hang on, let me see.
Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute pure self-hating little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is sad to me that he even gets an audience of black men. Why aren't black men right now saying, F Stephen A. Smith, we banning him, we not listening to his podcast, we're not watching his show anymore. That's what black women do. We organize.
But do you ask the question why?
Yes, tell me why.
By the way, I love the usage of adjectives.
I'm sure I messed it up somewhere.
And Tiffany, black men have been saying that, right? We have been saying that. But the problem is when people are standing up for what is right, they will get attacked. Just like Thirsty Toxicity tried to attack everybody, but really she looked like the bitch that she is, needed to be put down mentally and otherwise. and we're talking about being put down socially. You can't do so much that there's no consequences for what you do, right? That's called outrageous overshadowing. I'm going to, hey, look at this person, but yet you doing more deceitful shit than that person. Speaking of deceitful shit, Milagro scams. Court documents obtained by legal affairs journalist Megan Knuff show that jurors in the trial will be informed that Milagro, aka Milagro scam, shots conscious TV, deleted thousands of text messages and removed the WhatsApp icon, the WhatsApp app rather, from her phone, despite receiving a written notice not to. Some of the deleted messages were allegedly between Milagro and Tony Lane's father, Sunstar Peterson. So, how does this relate to Wendy and Eddie, right? Because there's a lot of people talking about, oh my God, Miss 4 degrees, this, that, the third, and listen. Wendy set herself up for that when she talked about her 4 degrees. So, to me, it was just tongue in cheek, right? And when this story first happened, right, I reacted to it in real time. But here's the thing, though, people need to understand that this is about allegations that the state has presented. They haven't had their day in court, right? So it says right here, a grand jury indicted Wendy 41 on insurance fraud, conspiracy insurance fraud, and false statement to the police officer on Thursday, October 9th, according to court documents obtained by U.S., right? So for those of you who don't know, Friday, October 10th, they posted after paying a $50,000 bond each, right? Dr. Wendy Osefo and her husband, Edward Osefo, are back home safely with their family and good spirits. We're told, for the couple told us weekly a statement they are grateful for the outpouring concern and support from friends, fans, and colleagues. Their Osefos alongside the legal team looking forward to the day in court. At this time, they respectfully ask for privacy as they focus on their family and the legal process ahead. Now, the facts are the facts. They did get arrested. And basically what ended up happening was there was a reported burglary at their home in April 2024, according to the documents. Wendy and Eddie claimed they had gone trips to Jamaica, came back to find their bedroom and closets ransacked, as well as several designer handbags. With the gag. There was a screen with damage laying on the roof, and the window was not locked. To go in or out that window, one has to step on the toilet. The toilet lid was down and had no debris on it. When the sheriff's office personnel stepped onto the roof and back into the home, they tracked roof grates back inside the dock spread. The docks continued. The Osefos had an ADT system and a ring camera. The Osefos activated the ADT alarm system upon leaving for vacation. During the time they were away, no motion detected. There was no motion detected inside the residence. There was activity such as package deliveries on the ring camera that was monitored remotely by the Osefos, right? So then they gave statements to two insurance companies regarding a list of items. This is Wendy's mugshot. Again, right here, he asked whether any other items on the list had been returned, which he denied. He was asked if he had other insurance that failed to disclose to home site, and Drew was that he was also making a claim with Travelers Insurance. Eddie and Wendy both signed statements claiming $2,500 for the building and $450,000 in property. The original claim, in his original claim submitted to Travelers April 8th, 2024, Eddie stated that he and his wife was wearing their anniversary bands when the loss occurred. However, Eddie called Travelers 2 days later and said he needed to update their claim because his wife's gold diamond anniversary band was missing. But what ended up happening was, right, Wendy put the ring on camera, right? Yeah. That same day, Travelers Insurance sold the claim for $25,308, which included the replacement of the band, $4,500. After their initial claim in April 2024, both Wendy and Eddie signed and submitted theirs to Jewelers Mutual Insurance, claiming that the burglary occurred at items were reportedly stolen. They provided the insurance company with an initial list of 57 stolen items, including Wendy's gold diamond anniversary band that had been reported stolen at the Travelers claim. April 22nd, 2024, Eddie was interviewed and did not make any mention of doing claim or payout with Travelers, right? And so, of course, there's more items here. So Dior shirt at valued at $1,450. There ain't no way in hell I'm spending $1,000 on a shirt. I'm sorry. I like to eat barbecue. Okay, I like to actually like live a life. So now there ain't no way now. And the Gucci leather wallet was purchased in 2018 and returned 2 weeks later for a refund, $948.70. And so right here, the email asked if there were additional high-value items that we can add to this inventory listing. Chanel, shoes, etc. I'm trying to get the total to exceed $423,000, which is our policy maximum, right? And so, like I said, the ring, the diamond anniversary band on her left finger, it was reportedly stolen, but on April 27, 2024, Wendy was seen wearing the same ring on her finger. So this is the thing, right? When you showcase yourself so high and mighty, this is what happened. In the same token, there has been a press conference, and these are the state charges, right? But Eddie and Wendy have to also present their case and so to prove guilty. For example, y'all remember the New Orleans lawyer, not the New Orleans lawyer, child, but the New Orleans mayor, rather. Let me go back to that real quick. Because there is a thing as innocent until proven guilty. And honestly, from the outside looking in, it makes a lot of sense, right? That all this happened and Wendy and Eddie are both guilty. But guess what? The court has to do what it does. And I reacted to it in real time based on what I saw, the breaking news. But of course, anytime a story breaks, you need to let it breathe a little bit. I think it was LaToya Cantrell. Y'all remember LaToya Cantrell and her bodyguard, right? And that was federal, right? So you gotta let the facts be the facts, right? So a couple things that have happened. Apparently, they are doing Wife Swap. Bravo, the crossover episode Wife Swap was delayed after the fraud indictment. So it was supposed to be the premiere episode, a crossover between the original Housewives franchise and Wife Swap. And so it was going to be Angie Casares going in place of Wendy and Wendy going in place of Angie. So it was supposed to air on October 14th, but the network pushed it back to October 21st. And also bumped the episode, featuring the episode later, back to later in the season. So, in their place would be an episode featuring Angie Casares. My bad. So you have that, but this is one response here, right? I had nothing to do with my husband's filed claim, right? So Wendy is done, frustrated, already tried to distance herself from the scandal. So this is the media takeout. Sources close to the Fezzo fan told me to take out Wendy was adamant she had nothing to do with the alleged fraud. One friend told us this was Eric's claim, his paperwork, his insurance report, his everything. Wendy wasn't even involved in filing it. According to this insider, Wendy, who proudly refers to herself as Miss 4 Degrees, is trying to make it clear that her arrest was a case of being guilty by association, not by action. The source says she's shocked that this happened at all. She feels like she's being dragged into something she didn't touch. Those close to her say she was completely blindsided by the charges and that she plans to fully cooperate with the authorities to clear her name. Now, for example, Karen Huger, right? Remember when this is her 4th DUI, right? Everybody was saying that Karen should not go to jail. However, it's her 4th DUI, so she could have had house arrest, but she went to jail, and by the grace of God, she got out early, but still, it was a guilty verdict. So, if we waited for Karen Huger to be able to get her clearance, right, of right is right, wrong is wrong, then Wendy also deserves that too, and Eddie deserves that as well, because we weren't there. And y'all know we're covering the facts of the case. Okay, we're covering the facts of it. I know that in reality TV, everybody feels like they can just click their button and feel like they're an expert at something. I always say this at the end of every show: know what you do and do what you know. Right? I always say that. Know what you do and do what you know. That's it. I don't know everything, but what I do know, I'm not apologizing for. And I think that's the way that this should really be. Sometimes we get a little caught up and what we want to believe and think and say and all that stuff, right? So right here, privately friends say Wendy is heartbroken and angry both for the situation and reportedly her husband, Eric. But her husband's name is Eddie, so y'all need to change that. Insiders say she's always some of the top tier legal team that's prepared to fight tooth and nail to protect her freedom, her career, and her image. So that's what's happening there. And this update surprised me because, usually they have the season already taped, but let's watch this from Empire.
Well, the streets of Potomac, well, specifically Maryland, are on fire after the news came out that Wendy Asefo and her husband, Eddie Asefo, were arrested for insurance fraud. Well, the cast, apparently, according to my sources, are filming tomorrow. Well, I'm hearing a lot about what's going on over there at the Real Housewives of Potomac and everyone's reaction to Wendy Asefo being arrested for these claims. As you already know, Wendy and Eddie have released a statement basically just asking for privacy, and they're going to look forward to their day in court. You also may have seen that the police department held a press conference laying out all the details against Wendy and Eddie. And the evidence is pretty damning, but we have to remember this is the state's evidence against Wendy and Eddie. They have yet to present their evidence and proof as to why these accusations are not true. But a lot of you have been asking me whether or not do I believe that this will be a part of the new season. Well, apparently it is. And apparently they're going to be picking up filming tomorrow. No confirmation on whether or not Wendy will be involved, but the ladies will be reacting. Not sure exactly which ladies. I know some of you are wondering if Karen will be involved. According to my sources, the ladies have not seen Karen. So this will be interesting to see how this will be included in season 10 of the Real Housewives of Potomac.
Thank you, Empire, for that, good sir. Now here's some context, conjecture, and connection from Empire here. So let's watch that.
Activity on your bank account. Please confirm your social security number.
So it looks like fans are digging up old receipts on Dr. Wendy Asefo and Eddie Asefo, including a recent interview that she did on a podcast revealing the details behind what happened during this alleged burglary. And some fans are pointing out, is that the ring that she claimed that was stolen? Still wearing it in this new interview?
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Empire Channel, your #1 source for pop news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. There's been so many updates since the breaking news yesterday, where Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Asefo and Eddie Asefo were arrested supposedly for insurance fraud and for lying to police from a burglary that happened in April of last year. We went through all of the details. I've even added the timestamps to make it easy for those that have not been able to be a part of the live recaps when we had this breaking news. But just a quick rundown. The police believe that Eddie and Wendy lied to them about this break-in. The break-in happened in April of 2024, happened when they were allegedly in Jamaica. When they investigated this, they claimed nowhere else in the home looked like it was ransacked, just the bedroom. The bedroom, they said, it looked like it was orchestrated. They claimed that it didn't seem like there was any forced entry through the window that they claimed that burglars came through. It's important for me to mention these details because when you see what she says in this interview with Gibson John, then it all kind of comes together. And there are a lot of clips that people are putting together like, oh, now that lands a little bit differently. So police, when investigating this, important to note what they're saying now. When police investigated, they said there was no activity on Wendy and Eddie's ADT system. So they had a security system within their home. There was no activity on that system. They also have a Ring camera, which only had activity, I believe, from an Amazon delivery. That was the only activity. A lot of people are saying when they find out more details about this alleged scam, they're like, this is pretty silly and less than smart if this is what they actually did, because the details are pretty damning.
Right.
They're also being accused in this indictment of claiming items from like 2018, items that they bought, purchased, and returned. A lot of these things are tracked through serial numbers. There's also emails where,
or there's a SKU number at my job. One thing we have a woman who's in charge of tax, right? And so one of the things that you'll see on besides the SKU number is there's a certain code that will let you know who the vendor is. But that's more in grocery store retail. I don't know about fashion retail, but I'm sure you look at the number and it'll tell you the vendor of who created that for Gucci or whoever. But that's just me talking now.
It seems as if they're both Eddie and Wendy are communicating in regards to send me more items because our max is $400-something thousand on the insurance. They apparently made claims for 3 different insurance companies. At least 2 of those companies they made basically double dipping at these 2 different insurance companies, saying, I lost these particular items, I lost these particular items. I don't know the logistics in regards to if you can do that, whether or not. However, that is also being used against them in this indictment. They were arrested on Thursday afternoon. They were released the following day. So they did end up spending the night in jail. No word on what happened with their children, who's taking care of their children. Wendy and Eddie did release a statement via their representative to Variety yesterday, saying Dr. Wendy Asefo and her husband Eddie Asefo are back home safely with their family and in good spirits. They are grateful for the outpouring of concern and support from friends, fans, and colleagues. The Asefos, alongside their legal team, look forward to their day in court. At this time, they respectfully ask for privacy as they focus on their family and the legal process ahead.
So I'm gonna skip ahead just a little bit because there is more now. Mia Thorne, who is Mia B. Lion. Okay. Child, Mia, nobody likes you because of how you move. So, but just watch this.
I have some exclusive information. I have a lot of information, but I'm not going to share everything yet. What I can confirm, and I confirmed it last night on my X account, my Blue Sky account, this is why it's important for you guys to follow me everywhere. I got details that they're picking up cameras today. No confirmation on whether or not Wendy will be included, but has not been interacting with the other women since being out of jail. I believe that Mia reacting on social media when in a conversation with the Reality Rundown.
She just messaged me a couple days ago. She's one of the very only, the only ones who is I'm so proud. What she said was, God has you covered, right? So this is, I need a second because
I get it.
I opened my phone. I had no idea what was even going on. And I'm like, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm very, very shocked because I felt Miss 4 Degrees had it together. Okay? I thought she had it together.
Now, hang on a second now. Mia, beautiful. You was fucking your nephew and your granddaddy last season. Okay, that's one. Number two, when Karen was going through what she was going through, you didn't give no love, grace, or space because didn't you and Gordon have a financial issue as well? See, we really tend to forget our own history. And then you call Candace music video low budget, but child, what have you done that has ever been of a high budget or a low budget? See, y'all gotta stop this shit. And I do not want to hear, right? I don't want to hear just because, she's a woman, I can't talk about her. She's a public figure. This comes with the smoke, right? it just is what it is. And it's quite funny how some people really want to jump on the bandwagon now of, it's went too far for a particular individual, when other people have been trying to stand up and say that it's been too far, but now y'all want to have a fucking line, y'all want to have fucking tolerance, y'all want to have a fucking breaking point. Oh my God. I'm flabbergasted, child. Let's keep going.
Wendy and Eddie claimed were stolen. They found them in the home this week. I don't know if it was Wendy and the legal team asking Bravo to scrap it, or Bravo just covering himself and said, let's scrap this, because you're filming in their homes. God only knows what we're going to see, because the other element that we found out yesterday, when the police went to arrest Wendy and Eddie, they found 15 items that Wendy and Eddie claimed were stolen. They found them in the home this week. They also, you may recall, one of the other allegations against them was the fact that the diamond that she claimed that she had lost during the burglary, she was photographed on the red carpet with said ring. Some people are speculating in this video that the said ring is also being worn as well. This was a recent interview. This was with Gabbing with Gib, the podcast. Let's take a look at what Wendy said. And we're body language experts. We're being facetious when we say that. However, pay attention to the body language, especially knowing what we know now. Again, I remind you, these are just allegations.
80% of communication is nonverbal, by the way.
However, the body language is body languaging.
I forgot that in April, your home was broken into or something. Was this during filming that this happened?
I think it was right before.
Okay.
Like, literally before camera went up. It happened because my family was away on spring break. It was our spring break trip with the kiddos. And I was just so hard.
I have to pause it. If you pay attention to how many times she looks off to the side. Body language is quite telling, but even the way she tells the story is quite telling, because it's like, and again, when you're thinking about all the details of what the police said yesterday, we also played for you yesterday during our second video, the press conference that the Carroll County Sheriff's Department had in regards to this. The details are pretty damning, because some of you that live in the neighborhood or live in the DMV, because we have deep sources in the DMV, some of you that live or know of that area where she lives in Carroll County, they're like, it's very unusual, not saying it's impossible, it's very unusual for there to be a burglary there. She says that in this interview too.
Broken. Like, I think a few of my first initial scenes, I'm just a little bit uneasy because we had just been violated, so to speak. It was the worst thing. It's so unexpected, especially since from my vantage point or from the investigators' vantage point, it was targeted,
Really?
It's interesting that she says from the investigators' vantage point that it seemed targeted. Mind you, it seemed as if the investigators, when they first initiated this investigation, they were already suspicious, but they're not going to tell Wendy and Eddie that they're suspicious. They're going to gather the details. She's now claiming that they agree that this feels very targeted.
This machine could change t-shirt printing forever. I printed this t-shirt with a back neck label, sleeve hit, an awesome chest graphic.
We're going to look at that later. Moving on.
Yeah, because I've lived in this neighborhood for, a long time, but since the neighborhood has been in inception for over 20 years, there has been no burglary.
Yeah.
Like nothing. And
now I want to know what Gibson thinks after you did this interview. I want to know your perspective on doing this in this conversation. Does it land a little bit differently? I know it's landing differently for all of us. In the 20 years of the inception of this neighborhood, there's never been a burglary. And when you look at the details of this burglary, the burglary itself was questionable. Again, when they investigated the entry point of this burglary, they did not find any evidence of someone being in the home, not from the ADT system, no footprints, no debris, anything like that. When the police went out and stepped onto the roof and then came back in, they actually tracked debris in.
So basically, something in the Kool-Aid ain't sweet about this. Now, like I said, innocent until proven guilty, and that was my main point of this, is that the facts are the facts as of right now. And it's interesting because whenever a story like this breaks, everybody wants to jump on and be the first one to be like, oh, this, that, and the third. But as we all know with Wendy Williams, when that story first came out, some people were like, oh, that's it for Wendy. No, there's been a lot more updates. So I think sometimes people want to be in first place, but they don't recognize placing in third and being correct is more important than placing in first and being known. But hey, to each their own, child. So, check this out.
Has Dr. Wendy Acefo been exposed? As I mentioned to you before, and if you attended the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live show in New York City, or you had the live stream, then you heard this tea that our friend, the Brooke Ashley, exposed. Brooke shared a story about a recent interaction with Real Housewives of Potomac star, Dr. Wendy Acefo.
Here we go now.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Welcome back to the Kempire Channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So, as I said to you before, if you watched our Real Housewives of Potomac recap, then you already heard me allude that you should go watch the Brooke Ashley's recap of Real Housewives of Potomac. So, just an FYI, I will be, as you know we always do here, cite her sources. So in the description will be Brooke's YouTube channel and the video where she talks about this. So you can go watch it, give her a follow, give her support, all of that. So let me get into what I need to share in regards to this story. So as I said to you before, I first heard the story from Brooke directly. Literally, I think maybe like several days after she attended this event. And I said to myself, I'm not shocked, Brooke.
I haven't been to the grocery store in months because this delivery service offers hundreds of high quality.
I had to, because I'm really like a vault. When I hear stuff, when people tell me stuff, I don't say anything unless they tell me I can share it. So I've heard things about Dr. Wendy behind the scenes from just general people and people that are other Bravo celebrities. And I was like, But you know, I really, when it comes to when people tell me stuff about other people, I always try to base my opinion on my own experience with those individuals. So when Brooke told me this story, I said, Brooke, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've heard things before and I'm not completely shocked. And especially because when we talk about some of the things that have been said about Dr. Wendy from the other women, but we kind of take that with a grain of salt because a lot of us were like, okay, you don't like her because of this or that. But when Brooke told me this, and if you follow Brooke's channel, if you follow Brooke's critiques and reviews of Real Housewives of Potomac, she has always been pro Dr. Wendy to the point where people feel like Dr. Wendy was paying her. But it's better that you hear this story from Brooke and not from me. So I'm going to play the audio of this, but like I said, you can watch our full recap in the video and everything like that on her YouTube channel. We're gonna stop and go and listen to this, and we're going to use this under fair use. Brooke, don't report me.
Shout out to everybody who was at Kempire's live show where I opened up for him last month. I gave you this tea. And I feel like this story time will go nicely with what we see regarding Wendy and Kiana's friendship. But again, let's get on to the story. So y'all know that I'm always out here in these Bravo streets. I'm always invited to different events, premiere parties, red carpets, the whole nine. This past August, I was invited to the DirecTV summer party, and you had different housewives there. Alexia and Gertie were there. We had Meredith and Lisa, and we had Wendy there from Potomac. So now...
And I will say this, I don't go to a lot of these events, but when I do, this is also a great place, not only just to get information about what's going on, tea from not always the Bravo celebrities, but some of the producers that are there, they will drop a little tea as well. That's how I found out about Summer House Martha's Vineyard. You remember that was at the first BravoCon that I ever went to, and I got that tea from one of the executives. Like, you know, there's a show that's coming. It's going to be sort of like a spin-off. They didn't give me the title. They didn't give me the name. I can't remember if they told me it was in Martha's Vineyard. I think they did. I can't remember. But a lot of times at these events, it also lets you kind of get to know people's personality. And if they're nice, and like, oh, sometimes people will surprise you. These Bravo celebrities will surprise you.
Again, if you've been watching me for quite some time, you know that every time I've seen Wendy at BravoCon, at different events, it's always been.
And Brooke literally in her video posts the different photos and video of, I think this is at least 2 or 3 times that she's met Dr. Wendy and they've interacted. And I was there during one of those interactions. I think this was BravoCon. And I remember Brooke was going to say, I'm going to go say hello to Dr. Wendy. But I knew what I've said about Dr. Wendy. So I was like, I'm going to keep my distance. I saw the fine Happy Eddie on the side supporting his wife. And so I'm being flashed back to that moment. I was like, oh yeah, I remember going over it. And it was all love. It was all love.
In love. She's always complimented me on my channel and how much she appreciates the support that I've shown her throughout the years. But this time things went differently, which took me by surprise. So I walked.
And I'll tell you this, Brooke was so surprised. She was so shocked. And I get that because sometimes, and this is the reverse. For those that don't know, I was just on the Humble Brag podcast with Crystal Kung-Minkoff and Cynthia Bailey. And, you know, I've talked about both of them during our recaps over the years. And Crystal surprised me because I was prepared. I was prepared to come into that conversation and be like, are we fighting, Crystal? Are we good? And Crystal's like, no, I respect everything that you said. And I was just like, those are the great moments. But then there's the moments when you think that, no, there should be no beef here with any of these housewives.
And that's the thing too, right? Is that whenever you do what we do, right? Especially us over here, we don't just cover pop culture. We cover entrepreneurship. We cover true crime. We cover real news, social issues. It comes with the territory that you gotta be prepared in case you do meet some of these people. You know what I mean? I've said what I said in every review, but here's the gag of every review that I've done when it came to Atlanta and Potomac, because those are the only 2 shows I really like review, and also Married to Medicine too, but Married to Medicine was by proxy, right? Is that I'll always keep it to the show, right? So in the words of Karen Huger, I'm only judging what you give me. So if you show your ass on TV, I gotta talk about how you showed your ass. But if you uplifted yourself in a good fashion, then I'll talk about the good fashion that you uplifted yourself in. So it's never personal for me. So like, remember the Kenya Moore confessions thing that happened? Where it was like, by the way, over 8,000 views on that live replay. And it was I think it was the biggest live that I've ever had outside of that other said show that is tragic, toxic, and trifling. Just keeping it in the buck. By 5 seconds plus, I did say this is going to prove who's a real content creator, who's not a real content creator. But hey, y'all do what y'all want to do, because in the words of Anonymous T here.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because
the words of Tay, and I quote from Tay.
Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time.
So I've been moving on. And it's so interesting to me because I think sometimes people will put themselves in drama, or they will fuel drama, or they will create space for drama just so they could say they have something going on, when really they have nothing going on in their life, just keeping it a buck. So when it comes to, you know, reviewing these shows and stuff, like, for example, On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, I just talked about how Bianca cannot handle herself when she has competition. Got nothing to do with Bianca personally. I'm talking about how she's moving on the show. So if I ever do meet any other contestants from the On Brand agency competition, if I meet somebody from Potomac or Atlanta or the Virgin show on TLC or Nelly and Shanti, it's all based on the show. The Never Ever Met's Ready to Love. It's all based on the show. Hard Hustle Houston. Ro actually likes the reviews. She's actually watched every review. Like literally the last live that we did, she was like, "Oh, I was late. Dr. Ariel said a lot of the cast watches my King's Court reviews." So like, some people will pick a fight with you just so they feel like they can have a crown. But really, you can take your ass over to Burger King like BK Lakeisha does, because she cannot have it her way in real life, nor virtually. But that's neither here nor there, child. Let's keep rolling.
Or behind the scenes people, and then all of a sudden there's beef, and you're like, oh. So for Brooke, I can imagine she was really thrown off by this.
Up to Wendy saying, hey, you know, good to see you. And we're talking about the season. I'm asking her, what should I expect? And she's telling me, you know, giving me a little bit of tea. Stacey's in the hot seat for the majority of this season. And then she goes on to say that Monique actually surprises everybody this season and how we, the viewers, might actually like her. I was surprised about that because you know where I fall when it came.
Well, we won't know if we will like her or not. First of all, she's not showing up for pictures. She's not showing up for the premiere event. Also, Wendy has not seen the final edit of the season. So
wait, Ashley didn't show up for the premiere event? And the reason why I'm saying this is because, for example, if Brantley's virtual tour got onto the E! Network, there's many things I have to do, right? I got to go on the Today Show. I got to go on the Tonight Show, Kelly Clarkson, NBC News Today, NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas. Dateline, I don't feel like I would really have to too much. Late Night with Seth Meyers. I would have to do the NBC tour, right? And when it comes to, you know, if we're doing a tour, right, Braylon's virtual tour live on tour in real life, then I have to hit certain markets that E is popping in. Now, of course, I'm going to make sure Ohio and Little Rock, Ohio and Arkansas are hit because I was born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas, but I grew up in Ohio, right? So, like I said before, it comes with the territory. So for you not to show up to the premiere event, that's shaky to me.
You may have liked her during the season. We shall see if production likes her when they edit the season.
Look, you could spend thousands hiring a professional video editor, or you could use Animoto.
To Monique and Candace when season 5 happened, but we're not here to talk about that. Now, mind you, I always bring my mom as a +1. So my mom is standing next to me while this is going on. So again, she's talking to me about the season. You know, conversation is going well for the most part. We take a picture, me, her, Gertie, and my mom. So we take the picture, everything's all good. And then she says to me, you know, you're mean.
What?
Wait a minute, like it's not even as if she went to Brooke and said, can I just talk to you about something? I'm feeling a type of way. But to come out and be like, you're mean. And this is not her first interaction with Brooke.
Okay. See, something in the Kool-Aid ain't sweet. That would be like if me and Ro, right? Ro's from Baltimore originally, but she lives in Texas now. I'm from Arkansas. There's a Southwest Classic versus Arkansas versus Texas A&M. But just know this: if Ro said, you know, you're mean, even though my interactions have been different with her, and she knows who I am virtually, that I am who I say I am, also in the DM, then I would feel a way too. And I'm using Ro as an example. Calm down. Me and Ro got love for each other. Got to schedule an interview with her soon, so can't wait for that right here on our channel. But it's very odd that the Brooke Ashley, who has been supportive of Dr. Wendy for years, is getting this unnecessary energy, right? So
at the very least, give Brooke some grace.
So I'm like, you must be talking about the Brooke Ashley from accounting, because surely you're not talking about me, the Brooke Ashley here on YouTube, being mean to you. So y'all know me, I don't bite my tongue, I don't mince words. So I'm just like, wait, what? What do you mean by that? Are you joking? And she's like, no, you're mean. So again, I'm looking around and my mom is in shock because she's like, So I ask again, how have I been mean to you? Can you give me some examples of where you feel like I've been mean? Let me know. Because again, I'm here to provide commentary and some laughs. I'm not here to tear anybody down. I'm respectful. I try to be as fair as possible. You've never heard me call any housewife out of their names. I just give my opinion on what I see for 44 minutes every week, and I keep it at that. So then she says, well, you know, I don't watch your channel anyway. My people watch, and they come back.
That part took me out. When Brooke told me she said that, I was like, you know what that was. That was her being condescending. I don't even watch your channel. Well, no one watches your channel, Dr. Wendy. Oh, are you bringing that back for this season, or have you left it for dead on the YouTube streets?
To me and tell me things that you said, and they're mean. So I just said, wait, what? And in the same cadence as Dwight Eubanks from Atlanta, and who are these fabulous people who watch my channel? Who? And what are your people hearing? Because clearly they need their ears checked if they're saying that I'm bashing you when I'm not doing that. So I was really...
And here's the thing, especially because she's met Brooke multiple times. Right. And someone saying, oh, you know, Brooke's mean to you. Wouldn't you, before you even bring this to someone, and I'm not saying not everyone does that, but because you've interacted with this person before and it's been all love, wouldn't you go and, let me see if they're saying, if she really is saying anything mean about me. I just feel like that was just her way of, she probably didn't like one thing that Brooke said. And I don't know, even Brooke was like, I don't know what I could have said. I don't know what I could have said.
Taken aback by that. We say goodbye to each other. I float around the party, and I just keep that in the back of my head. So because Wendy and I follow each other on Instagram, I slid in her DMs and I say to her, hey, can you give me some clarification on how I've been mean, because I've been supportive of you. Again, let me know where I've offended you, where you would call me mean. Surprise, surprise, there's no response. So the reason in me telling this story is to let you know that if it appears like my support has dropped off when it comes to certain people, that's why. Because if you've been watching me for any length of time, especially Potomac, y'all know I went hard in the paint for Wendy and Candace. On top of that, I think it's funny that I'm so mean, but yet you had a castmate who assaulted you, never apologized to you, and then another castmate said, well, I'm happy that it happened to you because I don't like you. So that wasn't mean, but me commenting on what I see every week is mean, despite me being on your side, rallying around the...
And mind you, again, Wendy had a good last season. Even I was sort of like, yeah, Wendy was fun, light energy last season. So what could it have been? I'm thinking maybe about her YouTube channel. Maybe that could be possibly. Did she even promote the YouTube channel? I think she did. I think she had a little bit of a storyline in regards to her, the Wendy, you know, the Dr. Wendy show. But even so.
And for that context, conjecture, and connection, Dr. Wendy got the chance to go to the White House to interview, I think it was Karen Pajit, I think. I'm so sorry. I know I'm butchering that so bad right now. But basically, she got to interview the press secretary, and Karen got to go to the White House as a guest. That was the Dr. Wendy thing. But with all that being said, for Dr. Wendy, allegedly, because I wasn't there, but Kim Pyre, he ain't got a lot about shit. I don't know the Brooke Ashley that well. I haven't watched her content before, but it's hard to fake a story like that, right? And so to me, that's just not cool, right? If somebody's been riding for you, been for you, and really has done more than they could have, should have, or should ever do, and you don't understand the magnitude of their pain, you're nothing to me. Like, no, that's not cool. Just right now, I want y'all to see this right here, because this is from Coco and T. I never heard of them before, but I want y'all to look at this because Wendy was exposed by a former coworker. Let's watch this.
And she is.
Love podcasting but hate editing? The next 30 seconds will change your life.
The reason Riverside is the place you want is
Wendy Asefo from the Potomac Housewives has been caught to be just another Nigerian scammer is hysterical to me. Let me tell you what she was like to deal with on TV hits back in the pre-Housewife days. Now, obviously, I've been a media and political commentator for quite some time. When I first came out in 2018, 2019, I would do hits on Fox News a lot with Wendy. Like, we were together multiple times. I always found her stuck up, arrogant, deeply superior, just really unpleasant to be around. And it's not just because she's a lib, it's just because she's just not a pleasant person. I've had lots of interactions with liberals and Democrats, you know, on the cable news circuit. And, you know, you have respectful disagreements on camera, maybe make it a little bit spicier, but, you know, it's like your coworkers, like everything is cool. But she was so arrogant, so unpleasant, just so difficult to deal with. And so stuck up, by the way, that the fact that she has just been revealed to be another Nigerian scammer who's basically was running an insurance scam on jewelry, that when Dummy reported it stolen and got the settlement from it, Dummy forgot not to wear it on camera. It's really hysterical to me. Like, I think that it is so funny, because she is a very easy person to root against because, again, she is so horrible.
Okay, and his name is Rob Smith, and I guess
I've never heard of Rob Smith before. Right. And this brother right here, let me do this here, right? Because child, this right here was just ridiculous.
No, we were not shocked. Yeah. Lord have mercy.
Who was that?
So that was Ashley, right? Now here's this brother here.
Audacity and hypocrisy for me.
So you're a doctor with 4 degrees. You're a doctor with 4 degrees who's married to an attorney. You're a doctor with 4 degrees who's married to an attorney who joined a reality TV show as a professor, who made her whole personality for the 4 years that she's been on said reality TV show that she's a doctor with 4 degrees who's a professor who's married to an attorney who's smarter than everyone else. And then you commit insurance fraud by faking a home invasion where you push the screen of your bathroom window in without actually crawling through the window to, I don't know, simulate someone actually breaking into the home. And then you file 3 separate claims with 3 separate insurance companies for the same missing items. Then it's discovered that you have just simply returned those items to the store for a full refund. And then after reporting all of these items missing, the ones that you didn't return, you still wore and posted Instagram pictures with them, including your wedding band, which initially you didn't claim had been stolen, but then called up a couple days later to say that it in fact had been stolen, but you are still posting pictures with it. And then it's discovered that you, Mrs. 4 Degrees, and your attorney husband have been emailing each other, can we add anything else onto this list of expensive items to max out our insurance premium of $400,000? Clearly those degrees don't give you any street smarts, because how are you going to tell me that Jen Shaw ran a more sophisticated crime?
By the way, Jen Shaw is from Salt Lake City, and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So I just want to bring that up.
Ring than Mrs. 4 Degrees and her attorney husband, right after she was bragging about how well Happy Eddie was doing in the premiere of the reality TV show that she's been on for 4 years.
Strength training, now at a new level. Gym Monster 2 is an all-in-one design.
Maybe if you had just waited a couple months to see the return on investment of your company, you wouldn't be in this situation. At this point, the P in RHOP should stand for prison. And now we have to sit through an entire season of these women coming after Stacey for lying about some guy she might have hired to be on the show, knowing the whole time that Wendy lied about a home invasion and committed insurance fraud. At this point, it feels like Bravo is just a feeder organization to scout out potential prison talent for the FBI.
Shout out to Blake on TikTok. He was spitting fat.
So that was Blake on TikTok. Now I will say this, right? I think he was correct in everything that he said. The only problem is Stacey did lie about TJ. That's a fact. So it just is what it is. But I want to bring this up because Ashley Darby had a lot to say. So I just want y'all to see this real quick from Kempire. Then we're gonna roll on.
I'm vindicated. Well, maybe. We shall see how the season goes. I'm going to keep an open mind. But this is what Ashley had to say at her event.
Felonies, if you know what I mean. I'm just not there. In case there was some confusion, that's what we're doing around here. Okay? That's it. That's all we're doing. Just making melodies. All right. That was just.
Someone said in the comment section of one of these posts, she was like, those melodies are felonies.
So basically, cameras picked up filming for Real Housewives of Potomac, and Ashley is trying to be a singer. No. And so when Ashley was doing this, the thing I thought about was, y'all remember that fight between Monique and Candace and how Ashley was going to make a character statement for Monique even though she wasn't there to witness the crime? Do we also remember the shrine incident with Nneka? That was Ashley. Do we also remember the fact that in remember the first season of, ejaculate, procreate, move up off of mine from Karen? Do we remember that? Do we also remember that, when Ashley brought up Thomas Jefferson's concubine? Child, you were Michael's concubine. Last time I remember, Michael had gotten so upset at the engagement or the re-engagement of regular Robin and Juan that you said, stop it right now. Remember how he pinched people's asses? Remember how his dangalang, his green stick, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that you gladly sucked on to have 2 children with the motherfucker, that he was all over the internet. And so now you want to say we're making melodies, not catching felonies. Child, Candace is bigger than you in music. Candace has teamed up with Tamar Braxton before. Like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here? I don't get it. Like, child, you and Giselle went on Love Hotel and couldn't check out with nobody because nobody wanted to check into you. Oh, that was a word. You and Giselle went on to Love Hotel to check in for love, but nobody wanted to check into y'all. You and Giselle had to go on Love Hotel to find love and check in to find love, but nobody wanted to check into you. Child, I can't, I won't, I never will. So this is what I have to say. This is, let me bring in a good friend of mine because I just can't do it. This is to Ashley Darby.
Come out the closet and stop keeping a secret and let the world know, if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, I would have been. Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you were at your wit's end? That is my point of view. Because my point of view in the Easter story is relational.
Okay. So that's what I got to say on all this shit. Just, child, make a hit album first and let the culture embrace it. and let's see you win Grammys. Then you can say you're making melodies, not felonies. Because, child, are you performing at BravoCon? Are you going to do a live performance during the Bravos? Because if you ain't doing that shit, you really can't say nothing. Okay? All right. Let's roll on, child. So, from Deadline.com, NBC Universal, speaking of NBC Universal Formats brings On Brand back to Cannes, France. Jimmy Fallon, Mimosa St. John were pressing in the flesh with advertising folks at Cannes Lions earlier this year to get them behind their reality business competition show On Brand with Jimmy Fallon as it launches on NBC in the U.S. The international format sales folks are at Cannes, but this time at MapCon, and hoping to sell the idea to international buyers. Hannah Marbrick, Senior Vice President of Format Sales and Production at NBC Universal Formats, which is a part of the Universal Studios group, is leading that charge. The big business competition of reality formats like Shark Tank and The Apprentice have been around for a very long time. We're often discussing with buyers how they would love to find the next show in that space, she says. Internationally, the show will be marketed as On Brand and pitched as a series for buyers. Peak time slots, that's our ambition for it. It's a primetime reality competition format. That's what brands who are in it would want it to be, says Marbach. Marbach's team knows Mimosa St. John, who co-hosts On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, stars in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because they sell the Real Housewives format, which has been remade in dozens of territories, resulting in the Real Housewives of Lagos, Nigeria, and the Real Housewives of Amsterdam, among others. They also sell the SNL Saturday Night Live format and Fallon's That's My Jam. At MikeCom, NBC Universal Formats will begin behind On Brand, which is a warm and smart business show rather than mean and cutthroat, says Marble. Everyone's working together. Feels a bit like some of the workplace comedies that you would see on NBC, like The Office and Parks and Recreation, with that kind of warm, hearted tone. So right here it says Marbach reports that international brand and market agencies, as well as producers with a background in commercials, have been in touch about the show. It's speaking to a lot of people and offering a lot of solutions, she says. For broadcasters, it's content they can co-invest with advertisers, because we know for advertisers, the 30-second ad might not be enough anymore. Advertisers want to be inside of entertainment as much as possible. This show does that organically. One challenge in terms of setting up local versions is that the rules govern for how brands and advertisers can work with broadcasters differently from one country to the next. Each international version will need to be calibrated accordingly. Well, y'all remember when I brought up the the Australian version of Big Brother Australia, rather. And KFC, they have done a brand integration for years, so I think it can translate over, but we'll see. We shall see. All right, y'all. More Brainley's Virtual Tour Live coming up right from the space right here, right now. From Variety.com, CNN launches multi-platform show called CNN Creators from New Borough. This is an exclusive. So this is the set for CNN Creators. So it looks like a co-working space. This kind of reminds me of screensavers from G4. Shout out to G4 and NBC Universal. Let's for getting rid of all that fudge. Yes, according to Corridors News, NBC Universal has deleted the history, the archival footage of G4, and you can ask Paramount how well that went with MTV. CNN International is launching a multi-platform show called CNN Creators from its new facility in Dar Mega City, Qatar. The new 30-minute weekly show, the CNN International show, which will air on Thursdays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, will kick off on October 23rd under a phased launch plan. During its first months, the show will be called CNN Creators. The intro of this phase will introduce the team of multi-platform creators, each with their own unique background, interests, skills, and perspective, according to CNN statement. These digital native storytellers will explore conversations that are captured in the zeitgeist with a focus on artificial intelligence, tech, art, culture, sports, and social trends, of course, entertainment, pop culture. The CNN Creators team will be the CNN Creators team in Dar will be led by Andrew Porter, a former senior editorial producer at Vice. Porter is being joined by Ivana Scotta, a multi-digital digital video producer and former British Broadcasting Corporation and France 24 reporter, Benji Hossi, who is known to CNN international viewers for his work hosting some of the network's features content across TV and social. And Antoinette Radford, another former British Broadcasting Corporation news journalist who has been a member of CNN's digital live team. Mardice Grace, an award-winning producer and reporter who has worked with CNN Sport in London for more than a decade and been fully a veteran war journalist whose vast work experience provides 7 Network and Network 10 in his native Australia, as well as Al Jazeera, Vice, and the New York Times complete the CNN Careers lineup at launch. In early 2026, the show will take on its permanent format as CNN Careers. It will become the first show out of CNN's brand state-of-the-art facility in Dar, Qatar. The purpose-built studio pictured above feature custom workspaces designed to enable dynamic content creation and collaborative spontaneous work among the team. The statement said, alongside the TV show CNN Careers, CNN Careers will also be producing content for CNN.com and CNN social platforms. Now, CNN Careers is unlike any show we have ever launched. Being Jordan, Senior Vice President of CNN International Programming, in a statement, this exciting new digital forward initiative will reflect how our younger audiences are engaging with stories and will deliver compelling entertaining content rather than multitude. In February, CNN opened a new hub in Qatar that marks its first new broadcast facility in a new country since they launched their Abu Dhabi bureau in 2009. CNN's presence in Qatar complements its existing Middle East programming and news gathering hubs, and CNN's flagship headquarters in the region, Abu Dhabi, is home to Connect the World, Becky Anderson, and Dubai is the base for CNN Arabic. Qatar, which has played a key role in negotiating ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, is also the home country and big backer of the Al Jazeera Global News Organization, which it seems like at one point in time is no longer around. I think that this is really great, honestly. And I think that this could translate to CNN US. Absolutely. As you guys know, CNN will have a streaming service. Now, they did CNN Plus. It failed within months. But I do think CNN Careers US, I think, could be great. And, of course, having CNN Careers all over the world, I think would be great, too. Speaking of media, there's an update about Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount Skydance. This came out 4 hours ago from NBC. So let's watch this here.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. Well, the world turns and the world.
Sorry, I gotta refresh so y'all can see it clear.
At AT&T Business, we can't guarantee closing up shop on time.
Still open?
I can do one more. Yes.
They're open.
What AT&T Business does guarantee, you get the connectivity you depend on, or we'll make it right.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. Well, the world turns in the world of media, and here's a new one for you, but maybe not new because I think we've been talking about the possibility of this for quite some time. Warner Brothers Discovery rejecting what it sees as an undervalued takeover bid from Paramount Skydance. That's according to a Bloomberg report, a couple of other reports trying to confirm some of that news. A report saying that Paramount's offer was about $20 per share. Now, Warner Brothers, per Warner Brothers share, that is. Reports also say Paramount CEO David Ellison could potentially increase his bid, appeal directly to Warner Brothers shareholders, or seek additional financial backing. We had heard a couple of reports even last week that there was conversations with some private equity firms and other things. You're looking right now at Warner Brothers stock at $17.65, so you could see why a $20 bid might not
Run up a little.
The trick.
Gone up a little.
Gone up a little bit on the back, but it's gone up a little bit, more than a little bit on the back of just the possibility that Warner Brothers might be coming.
Like 7. That's what I mean. Yeah, I think it was like.
What comes next, though?
Like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
At one point.
Right.
But what comes next? Do they go hostile? Do they raise their bid? Like, what are the options on the table?
I think the options on the table is just
go away.
Just to go big.
Yeah.
To go big. Interestingly, Rich Greenfield, who we have on the broadcast all the time, put out a report saying, if you're David Ellison, don't do this. That the better path.
Wait till they split.
Was no. His argument was just invest in your own content, invest in the technology. You don't need everybody else's libraries.
I mean, Rich Greenfield is still dumb as fuck for saying ABC should shut down, but I give credit where credit is due. If somebody has a smart moment, I'll give them credit for a smart moment.
First on Friday, I mean, Mark was down, but 29 and change. Everyone says they're waiting Brian Roberts waiting in the wings to do this. And that's who's going to finally, in fact, I don't know if it's true. I think this is, the guy at Fox that we used to work with all the time. Gasparino.
Oh.
Yeah.
That Comcast is the most likely, and that it would kill Brian if he let, Ellison come in.
Right, but the question has always been.
But Comcast and Dave Kern, once again, being the dumb fuck that he is, Comcast is not going to buy Warner Brothers Discovery because they just got done, or they're in the process, rather, of spinning off the cable network. So USA Network, the E Network, the Golf Channel, Fandango, Sports Now, Oxygen as well. They're spinning CNBC as well and MSNBC. So they're spinning off all these networks. So if Dave Ellison says, okay, well, we are going to split it in two. If Comcast wants to go after Warner Bros. Discovery for the film division, okay, I could see that, right? And then maybe that company could be Versant's company, right? You know what I mean? Because now Versant and all those cable networks now have a backlot. They have a catalog that they can air on their TV shows and everything else. And I'm sure there'll be a new streaming service from Versant. But if Comcast tries to buy out the cable networks of Warner Bros. Discovery after they spun off the networks, they're going to look really stupid.
From one, which is actually, does Washington allow something like that?
I believe, right? I understand with the way. The president last week called it Comcast, so I understand as well as anyone that whether you can get that. I might be able to get it through.
You think you could? You never. Now you're part of Versant, so there.
I think I could talk to the president. Probably. I don't know if he might say, sorry, Joe, take a hike. I don't know how deep-seated some of the feelings. I think they're pretty deep-seated, some of Trump's problems.
If you already answered your own question, then of course it's going to be take a hike. I can't with Joe Kerr. Anyway, from blacknews.com, former Alabama pastor charged with using $400,000 in church funds for luxury. Now, like I said at the top of the show, I thought I heard that Uncle Wanda was on bail collected with a boyfriend and a husband, but turns out that was Marie. Now, I don't know if Marie and Uncle Wanda are long-lost sisters or not, but there's something going on in Alabama. Okay, let's get into it. Adrian Davis, a former pastor at a Huntsville, Alabama church, is facing federal charges for allegedly spending more than $400,000 of church funds on personal luxuries like cars, entertainment, credit card payments. According to WTVM, court documents show that Davis once served as lead pastor and marketing consultant at All Nations Worship Assembly, ANWA. He was authorized to receive a salary and a housing allowance, but investigators say he went far beyond that to earn church money for his own use. Between 2018 and 2019, Davis allegedly bought several vehicles, including a 2016 GMC Yukon worth nearly $46,000. He also reportedly spent more than $35,000 on entertainment retail purchases unrelated to church activities. Now, you better hope you didn't get no party buses. And went on particular mission trips. Y'all, we are going down to the valley where the girls get naked, and we're going to praise God for the thickness. I mean the goodness of these women being powerful in their own right mind. Hey, Bishop. Hey, Bishop, can we bring the All Nations Worship Assembly baby oil? Yeah, get about 1,000 bottles of it. Now, if we can't get it, we can obviously ask. PD's in jail, so we can't ask him, but we sure can find associates. Bishop D.B. Jakes, what do you have to say about Mr. Davis here using over $400,000 of the church's money for his own sinning?
Come out the closet and stop keeping a secret and let the world know if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you were at your wit's end? That is my point of view. Because my point of view in the Easter story is relational.
Thank you, Bishop. Now, of course, as you all know, we bring in the male and the female perspective because we are very fair over here. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So I'm going to bring in a woman to give her take on what she thinks about the situation about Mr. Davis. So let's hear from her right now.
He never got no pictures. He was telling you a story, Mama.
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the booze.
Todd had nothing to do with this shit. Moving on. Damn it. Thank you, Aunt Bertha and Bishop T.D. Jakes for stopping by Brainley's Virtual Tour Live. Glad that you could make some time for us here. Investigators claim that Davis used more than $24,000 to pay his mother's mortgage and covered his personal credit card bills using church accounts. Records show that he transferred about $117,000 to American Express account and continued withdrawing funds from church accounts over several years. The total misuse allegedly exceeded $400,000. Prosecutors also accused Davis of filing a false tax return in 2021, reporting $138,621 in income while earning more than that. Federal court documents confirm that Davis has entered a plea deal. Under the agreement, he will pay nearly $500,000, $550,000 to be exact in restitution, including over $434,000 to NANWA and about $114,000 to the IRS. If convicted, Davis faces up to 20 years in prison for wire fraud and up to 3 years for filing a false tax return. Hey, you know what? Listen, I think I might have found Destiny Payne's new man. I mean, because didn't Destiny get arrested for forging her husband's signature for a utility contract? And she also got arrested for wire fraud and identity theft. Listen, we do a lot over here. We utilize information as a tool. We use it as a weapon to handle shit. And we also provide opportunity. So Adrian Davis, hang on. You know what? I'm going to help. I'm going to help. Yep, I am going to help out right now. Because that's what I do. I'm a helpful person. Give me a moment. Give me a moment, y'all. I'm gonna help out. Right? I'm gonna help out. Now listen, Destiny Payne, she's in Huntsville. Okay, listen, she she's got a luncheon Saturday, November 2nd. I'm sure that Mr. Davis is about, supporting domestic violence, being against that rather. So listen, it's going to be at Studio 53 at 6200 Maston Lake Road, Northeast Suite A, Huntsville, Alabama 35810. So listen, if you're available, Mr. Davis, now the attire is semi-formal and shades of purple. Okay, so visit Destiny's Law Foundation for updates. So listen, don't ever say that I don't do nothing nice, decent, and kind for any damn body. I'm hooking up convicts together. Okay, listen, and you can see them on the new season of Love After Lockup, coming to WeTV very soon with those two. Mazel tov, blessings, and congratulations to you two in advance. All right, y'all. This damn show we do. Anyway, let's roll on, everybody, to rollitout.com, celebrating 25 years. On to the next platform, child. Faith Evans shines light on autism at Writers' Room Gala. Faith Evans' inaugural Writers' Room Gala at the Newark Museum of Art united artists, advocates, and city leaders to spotlight autism awareness and equity in underserved communities. And look at that backdrop right there. Faith Evans is that one. Stevie J fucked up. He did. Faith Evans didn't just host a gala. She turned the Newark Museum of Art into a sanctuary of soul, purpose, and power. Under the glow of New Jersey's skyline, the Grammy Award-winning singer and proud Newark native brought her hometown to its feet with the inaugural Writers' Room Gala, a stirring celebration of love, resilience, and advocacy for families touched by autism. Spearheaded by Courtney Terry, chair of special events, the museum halls post with music, laughter, and the unmistakable spirit of unity. Evans, in her partnership with her foundation, Writers' Room Incorporated, the city of Newark, welcomed guests to an evening that blended celebrity and service in equal measure. Founded in 2017, named after her son Ryder, who is now 18. Come on. Amen for that. Who was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, ASD. Evans sees her foundation as more than just a passion project. It's her life's mission. Through monthly parent support groups and national advocacy work, Writers' Room amplifies awareness and builds pathways for resources that are often scarce in Black and Brown communities. As many know, I'm Mother First. Evans told the crowd, "I've walked this path with Writers for more than 17 years. My hope is that no family ever feels alone." Amen to that. A night of star power and substance. And look at that beautiful family right there. Listen, I need to get this jacket. Okay, I love this jacket. I've seen it on many brothers. I mean, just look at the Black excellence here. I mean, come on, that is just stunning. There. Let me get some applause to this great family here. Hang on, give me a moment. Right here. Just gorgeous, absolutely. And I bet you Faith Evans got a thigh tattoo right here. Listen, it's always the thigh tattoos for me. But moving on. So from left to right. So Ryder Shaw right here, and then you have Antoinette Von Bouzier, Faith Evans right here, and then Andre Von Bouzier right there. So those are the beautiful people in that photo. Beautiful. The evening's theme: awaken the fire, ignite power, and elevate. Set the tone for what could become one of Newark's most inspiring nights. The incomparable MC Light commanded the stage as the mistress of ceremonies, her voice carrying warmth and purpose between a powerhouse loud performances. Comedian and actor Mike Epps kept the crowd warm with laughter, while hip-hop legend Redman brought the hometown energy to new heights. The room swayed as Elder Barge delivered smooth and soulful classics that had guests singing along, followed by a stunning vocal performance by Avery Wilson that left the audience on its feet. R&B icon Christopher Williams serenaded the crowd with timeless hits, and Lil Cease took the mic with a tribute that paid homage to Faith's late husband, rather the notorious B.I.G. Rounding out the show, rapper Freeway shared an emotional performance that underscored the night's theme of perseverance and purpose. In addition to the splendor, the Newark Museum of Art was transformed into an elegant oasis designed by Andre Von Bouzier, whose opulent floors, candlelight, and luxe accents create an atmosphere worthy of the occasion. Guests captured the evening's magic at the Hollywood Shine photo booth, a luxury activation that quickly became one of the most popular highlights of the night. So let me just say this is the designer here of this event. So I think this is her son right here, I believe. So, but either way, all beautiful people. So I thought that was the whole family, but my bad on that there. But the true spotlight belongs to the honorees, 5 trailblazers whose work redefines what advocacy looks like. Mayor Ross J. Barker, Elevated Award for transforming Newark through progressive urban policy, public safety reform, and his holistic approach to community care. Liza Lawrence, Impacted Work, founder and CEO of Perfect Connection. Lawrence has supported more than 500 children and families navigating autism. Come on up in here. Inspired by raising two sons on the spectrum, Malika Mitchell Empower War, a behavioral health expert with over 2 decades of experience. Mitchell leads culturally competent programs and mentorship initiatives throughout Southern California. Andrew Berger, the Encourage Award, once nonverbal until the age of 4. Now, men and women with autism can be nonverbal. I know we have wastes of life that should have been swallowed by the mothers and really should have just stayed a one-night stand. Who can move, be, and is thirsty toxicity, and people who support thirsty toxicity in terms of that person being thirsty toxicity and the movement and everything in between. If you don't know something, just say that you're a dumbass. You won't get no respect for it because there are other people who actually have done work in autism for years, and so it just shows your ignorance. But ignorance means lack of knowledge. Well, if you never had any knowledge, you just a waste of life, though. No, waste of life is kind of is too gracious. Waste of space, though. Oh, waste of existence. That would be the right thing to say. Okay. All right, then. Andrew Berger, the Encourage Award, once nonverbal until the age of 4. Berger is now an accomplished artist and educator whose creativity and courage embody the very mission of Writer's Room. And Safari Muhammad, the Inspire Award, a national disability policy advocate and founder of Urban Matters Advocacy and Action. Muhammad is known for championing accessibility, inclusion, and justice for all. Look at this here. Courtney Perry, the chair of special events at Writer's Room. Go ahead. Yes, I'm loving this. The legacy begins for Faith Evans, the Writer's Room Gala March. More than a milestone, it was the birth of a movement grounded in empathy and action by merging her platform as an artist with her purpose as a mother and advocate. She is reshaping how the entertainment world engages with disability awareness. Awareness is the first step, but action keeps the movement alive. Evans reflected as the evening drew to a close when the lights dimmed and the last notes of music faded, guests carrying something far greater than memories that carried momentum. Or rider momentum. What started as a night of celebration has become a call to ignite, empower, elevate a legacy that Faith Evans has only just begun to write. More information on Writer's Room or to join their mission through partnership, visit writersroominc.org. First of all, congratulations. First of all, I just have to say that. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And, anytime we can have people being more about the culture than for themselves, we will always support that there. And so this was the inaugural gala, so there was VIP sponsorship packages and everything else. I did not know about this. Oh, and there's Ryder. That's her son right there. Yes, indeed. There. Love that. So that was the brother in the back there. And then the other two were the designers of the event. So as you can see, they got symposiums and webinars, community outreach, fundraisers, and events there. I absolutely love this. Faith Evans, well done to you, my sister. And keep your head up for sure. They got a YouTube channel here. Definitely will subscribe to them. And listen, I definitely would not mind partnering with them. The more of us that invest in the good, the more we can uplift all. So yes, indeed. So congratulations to Faith Evans. I love that. Absolutely. All right, y'all. More Brains Virtual Tour Live. We are almost done with the show, everybody. A jam-packed show. Rollout.com celebrating 25 years once again. On to the next 25 years. Outrageous. American Airlines chaos disrupts 1,000 plus flights. 2 defiant passengers forced Jamaica flight to turn around amid massive weekend delays. Air travel turned into a nightmare for thousands of American Airlines passengers over the weekend as the carrier experienced one of its worst operational meltdowns in recent memory, leaving the family stranded, vacation plans in ruins. The chaos reached a breaking point on Friday when American Airlines racked up a staggering 1,082 flight delays in a single day, affecting nearly 1/3 of its total flights and causing ripple effects that continue disrupting travel plans throughout the weekend. The situation became even more dramatic when 2 defiant passengers on Jamaica-bound flight forced the entire plane to turn around mid-flight, creating hours of additional delays for everyone on board and highlight just how fragile air travel has become during the ongoing government shutdown. Yeah, we're still in the midst of that, everybody, the government shutdown. Yes, indeed. For the hundreds of families who found themselves caught in this travel disaster, What should have been smooth journeys to destinations across the country instead became exercises in patience, frustration, and costly rebooking fees. So the Jamaica flight that turned into a 4-hour ordeal. The most striking example of the weekend's chaos involved American Airlines Flight 2732, which departed Charlotte Douglas International Airport at 2 p.m. On Friday, with passengers excited for their Montego Bay vacation. What should have been a routine 2-hour flight to paradise quickly became a travel horror story. The initial departure went smoothly, with passengers settling in for what they expected to be a pleasant journey to Jamaica, only to have their plans derailed by two fellow travelers who refused to follow crew directions. The dramatic turnaround happened just 50 minutes into the flight, and the pilots made the difficult decision to reverse course and head back to Charlotte due to the disrupted passengers, leaving everyone else on board wondering what was happening when they reached their destination. The two problematic passengers were also removed from the aircraft, but the damage was done. The flight did take off again until 5:15 p.m. The passengers finally reached Montego Bay at 6:46 p.m., nearly 5 hours behind schedule, and well into the evening hours they had planned to spend enjoying their vacation. Weekend delays spread across major airlines. The problems did end with Friday's disruptions, as Saturday brought fresh headaches for travelers trying to navigate the increasingly unreliable air travel system during the government shutdown period. American Airlines continues struggling with 651 delays on Saturday, affecting 19% of its flights, ranking second worldwide for delays on behind European budget carrier Ryanair. Delta Airlines emerged as Saturday's biggest problem, recording not just 562 delays, but also 44 flight cancellations, the highest cancellation total among major U.S. carriers, leaving hundreds of passengers scrambling to find alternative travel arrangements. United Airlines adds to the misery with 531 delays, while Southwest data remain unavailable, but the carrier has been consistently topping delay charts throughout the government shutdown period. The widespread nature of these disruptions created a domino effect throughout the aviation system, with major airports like Newark, Liberty International, Chicago O'Hare, Hartsfield Jackson, Atlanta becoming bottlenecks and trapped thousands of travelers. And honestly, to tell you the truth, it's quite sad too, because when this happens, like I remember, I think it was Erica Campbell, for example. She was like stuck at an airport. She had to like literally get a hotel overnight. It's added expenses that shouldn't have to happen. I do think the government added some new rules that if it's a delay that's on their part, they do have to reimburse you for a certain amount of money. So yes, indeed. So hopefully everything is back on one accord. By the way, our last destination here from Black PR Wire, Stubios, right here. Tubi announces Rosemary IDC as winner of Stubios Greenlight contest. Nigerian American creator to bring original horror thriller. Say that 3 times. Thriller. Because it's a thriller. No, just me. Okay. Glamping to Tubi on October 24th. So Tubi, the ad-supported streaming service, announced actress, writer, and producer Rosemary IDC as the winner of its first ever Studios Greenlight contest. IDC's original horror thriller, Glamping, is slated to premiere October 24th as a Tubi original. IDC was selected from a competitive pool of finalists and received the highest fan support during the program's beta phase, reflecting the growing demand for authentic, underrepresented voices in film and TV. I'm passionate about bringing characters to life on screen, especially in genres where we haven't traditionally seen ourselves. At IDC Studios gave access, mentorship, and community support that young filmmakers like me rarely receive. I can't wait to bring Glamping to a broader audience. Glamping follows a seemingly idyllic weekend getaway that takes a terrifying run when a mass killer disrupts the trip of a wannabe influencer Olivia and her friends in Big Bear. The film expands on DC's earlier short by diving deeper into the characters' backstories, building suspense and exploring survival famous from a fresh, diverse lens. At Tubi, we champion untold stories, and Rosemary's genre-defining vision for Glamping is exactly that, said Adam Levison, Chief Content Officer at Tubi. Congratulations to Rosemary for winning the Studios Greenlight content. And we are thrilled to help bring her storytelling to Tubi, where stories truly find their audience. Studios is a part of Tubi for creators, an evolution of Tubi's content strategy focused on making more of what hits and brings untold stories to life, launching launched in 2024, Stubios is a fan-fueled creative studio designed for aspiring filmmakers and their fans. The program empowers emerging storytellers with funding, mentorship, and a direct path to premiere their original long-form content on Tubi by giving creators control of their creative destiny and a bridge to Hollywood. Studios expands audiences while championing underdog voices. Well, congratulations. Absolutely. I told y'all about Stubios. I submitted Brandy's virtual tour as a show for Tubi. I did not win, but hey, at the beginning and end of the day, the fact that this person won here is a blessing, because that goes to show Hollywood, hey, listen, these new voices out here, they're here, they're ready to work. But question is, are you willing to invest in us fully? In case you don't know what Stubios is, here it is. Roll it.
Yeah, we hustle all day. Yeah, we're working, let me play. You know me, work real hard, now we're ready, let's play. Ay, hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's go, yeah. Hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's go. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, yeah. Drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, yeah. Drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, yeah. Drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, yeah. Drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder.
Right, build your audience, right? Bring your project, build your audience, and if your show is a hit, we'll greenlight the next one. No bullshit. So shout out to Tubi for making it do what it do there. Y'all, that's our show. We did that in 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 48 seconds. Not too bad for a whole show. Here's some positive news, because y'all know we always end it with a positive news story for our morning editions. The Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation has pledged $50 million to Atlanta's historically black colleges and universities, including Clark Atlanta, Morehouse, Morris, Brown, and Spelman. The funds will go toward gap scholarships for nearly 10,000 students who are in good academic standing but lack enough financial resources to finish their degrees. Faye Torsky, the foundation's president, described the grants as a material investment in hope. This marks the foundation's largest contribution in Georgia, large contribution to Georgia HBCUs, historically black universities and colleges and universities, rather. Dr. F. Du Bois Bowman, the president of Morehouse College, said about this generous gift, this monumental investment will empower our students to remain focused on their academic studies, ensure that their talent, ambition, hard work, and integrity, not financial hardship, will determine their futures. This just came out an hour ago. Shout out to the Jasmine brand for this. So there we go. Yes, indeed. We always love being able to promote the good that's happening in the neighborhood. I'm going to turn off my camera now, because we've done the whole show for over an hour. Yes, we have. Like I said, Wendy and Eddie, it looks very damning for y'all, but we will have to wait and see innocent until proven guilty. But I do believe that we should really wait and see, because sometimes when you try to be first to be known, it can backfire on you. Look at Toss Away Kane, what she had to pay to Cardi B for not being able to just stick to the prompt and block those scams. And also, too, that said individual that cannot say Nicki Minaj's name anymore. And did I mention all three of those women are black women? On brand being pitched overseas, I'm here for it. The biggest thing is broadcasters and advertisers have to see how that works, but I can definitely see on brand Australia, on brand France. I can definitely see that happening all over the world there. In addition to that, CNN with CNN creators, I think that's a great thing. Hopefully they'll come to the U.S. And maybe that could be a 2-hour programming block of different creators coming on and giving their stories of what they found and doing interviews and all that stuff. I think that'll be great. Adrian Davis, brother, I hooked you up with Destiny Payne. Now, you got convicted for wire fraud. She got convicted for, wire fraud as well. So I think y'all be a lovely couple. So blessings to you. Hopefully you are at that event, good sir. But seriously, don't use the church's money for your own selfish sins. Good Lord Jesus. Faith Evans and the Ryder Room Foundation. Shout out to y'all. Glad that the gala went well, and keep going, Faith Evans. You have always been good. And let me tell you, The Fine Temptations is still one of the best black movies, and really one of the best movies that ever came out for the culture of the culture, by the culture. Well, American Airlines and all those flights being down, good Lord Jesus, and that Jamaica flight, y'all should have just gave everybody a free damn ticket. Good damn. Y'all got money. Okay, y'all got money. Y'all got money. And then Stubios, congratulations to the winner, Rosemary Aditzi, and Glamping. Her original horror thrill will be coming October 24th. And then, of course, this great foundation here, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, giving a $50 million donation to help students be able to go to college. Black and my pocket students be able to go to college. What a great show. One love, much love, all love. I feel love. I send it right back to you. Potomac. Tonight, we're talking about now, for everybody in the back, I'm a black man talking about black women on national television. So if you're offended by that, then you're offended by Kempire and Chef Don Don, Jeremy Speaks, and a lot of other people. I mean, facetious when I say that. But anyway, I'll see y'all tonight. One love, much love, all love. Bye, everybody.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's faith. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
Child, Brandon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Brandon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Brandon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time.